Okay, assalamu alaikum everyone. Hope you're doing well. So in this class I'll be discussing one question number 5 of June 2024 exam series, and this is from macroeconomics section C, and exam was for AS paper 2 and variant 2. And question number 5 was like, this statement is generated after getting feedback from the students, so there may be a little variation in the actual exam paper. So keep in mind, this is not provided by the Cambridge University, so this is just like based on the feedback from the questions from the students, and I have reconstructed this statement based on that feedback of the students. So question number 5a was, explain protectionism and consider the effectiveness of tariffs as a method of protectionism. And the second question was, assess whether free trade is always better than protectionism for a low income country or developing economy that is interested in international trade or trade internationally. Right, so I'll discuss these questions one by one. So first question first, and again you have to consider three assessment objectives: assessment objective 1, assessment objective 2, and assessment objective 3. Assessment objective 1 carries 3 marks, and 2 marks. Right, so assessment objective 1 is knowledge, and assessment objective 2 is analysis, and assessment objective 3 is evaluation. Right, so first of all, for knowledge point, you have to define what protectionism is. So you will say that protectionism refers to the government policies that aim at like reducing the volume of imports and protecting local young industry from international competition. And then you will have to further extend a little discussion of protectionism. As an assessment objective 1, you will say that protectionism include the policies like tariff, like quota, and then embargo. There are other methods as well, but you need not to explain all of them, because for 3 marks you should write a little bit about these these basically policies. So tariff is a form of tax that is imposed on imported goods to make them expensive, so volume of imports will decrease. And quantity quota is basically the physical limitation that is imposed on quantity of goods that can be imported into the country. Then embargo is 100% ban on import of certain product. So these are basically the basic knowledge of this question, and now you have to move to the analysis part. In analysis, you have to connect these things like methods of protectionism and their effectiveness, right? Like tariff, effectiveness of tariff as a method of protectionism. You will like explain that tariff is a form of tax imposed on imported goods, and if government imposes tariff on imports, then they will get expensive, and as a result, like tariff, since it is like form of indirect tax, so it reduces supply of imports. So as a result, supply will fall, and you can make this graph as an analysis point. However, if you don't make graph, still you can get full marks, because examiner hasn't asked to make the graph. You can make this graph for your own convenience. So this is price of imports, and on X we have quantity of imports, right? Quantity of imports. So this is demand for imported goods. This is initial supply of imports, right? So this is demand of imports, this is supply of imports. Equilibrium takes place at E, where price of imports is P and quantity is Q. Okay, so as I told you, you are not basically bound to make this diagram, because it wasn't compulsory. You could explain it just in discussion as well. However, I suggest making this graph because it will make your job easier to connect the variables. So when government imposes indirect tax, supply of imports will fall and supply curve will shift to the left from SM to SM1, and new equilibrium will take place at E1, where price of imports is P1 and quantity is Q1. So quantity has decreased and price has increased. So when government imposes tariff on imports, it will make imports expensive. So as a result, government can protect the local industry from international competition, and it will also correct balance of payment deficit as well. So this is the analysis part, and in evaluation you will say that whether like imposing tariff is effective method of protectionism or not. So in conclusion, you will say that tariff is not always effective method of protectionism, because in some cases the demand for imports is price inelastic. So as a result of tariff, imports will get expensive, while the quantity demand for imports will not decrease that much because of inelastic demand. And the other countries may also retaliate by imposing tariff on your products as well. So as a result, your exports may also decrease, right? So you are trying to cut down imports by imposing tariff, but as a result of retaliation by the other countries, since they will also impose tariff on your products that you export to other countries, so as a result your exports may fall, and your industry may like further be damaged, and balance of payment deficit may not be corrected, and local young industry may not be protected. And now moving to, similarly you can also say that tariff on like imported raw material, machinery, technology and tools will also damage the local industry, because if local industry depends on imported raw material, machinery, technology and tools, then they will get expensive, and as a result local industry will not be able to use them and buy them from other countries. Okay, so now moving to part B of this question, assess whether free trade is always better than protectionism for low income country or developing economy that is interested to trade internationally. So in this question you have to, since you have already explained in the previous question what protectionism is, so you can just mention that protectionism refers to the methods that are you can just say that protectionism has been explained in part A of this question. And free trade is the trade between countries where there are no tariffs, quota or embargo, and there are no trade barriers imposed between countries. And developing countries are the low income countries that mainly rely on agriculture sector. Their GDP per capita is also very low. So this is the basic information or knowledge that is in this question, and now you have to start analyzing whether free trade is the better option for developing country or not. So you will say that in case of free trade, developing country can benefit the developing country can benefit that is interested in international trade or trading internationally, because it can produce better quality goods that can be exported to the other countries easily to earn foreign exchange. And the local industry, generally developing countries are agricultural based countries, so they don't produce technology oriented products, so they can import technology, machinery and tools from the other countries. Because of free trade, they need not to pay any kind of tariff, quota and embargo, so as a result they will be able to import these goods easily and at relatively low prices. So the local industry will flourish, and it will also create job opportunities. And through free international trade, countries generally specialize based on the comparative cost advantage or absolute advantage. Comparative advantage theory, you can basically use that term as well. Based on comparative advantage, country will specialize in the production of products that it can produce relatively at lower prices, at lower cost as compared to the other countries. And this extra produce like quantity can be exported to the other countries to earn foreign exchange. On the other hand, you will have to like talk against this policy as well. Like free trade may lead to more imports coming into the country, so local young industry and infant industry or sunset industry may be destroyed completely and it may shut down because everyone will focus on importing goods, qualitative goods from the other countries. And the second thing that you can talk against the free trade is generally, like, multinational companies from other countries that produce highly qualitative products are the first option for the consumers, so consumers may prefer buying those goods from the multinational companies from other countries instead of buying goods from the local industry, and it will also increase unemployment in the country as well. And another thing is, like, free trade. Although free trade seems like beneficial to a developing economy, however, it has a lot of problems as well. Therefore, like, instead of just focusing on free trade, there should be protectionist policies used by the developing country on certain type of goods that may be, like, damaging the local young industry, infant industry, strategic industry, or it may be like the sunset industry, the old industry that is, like, already declining industry. Okay, so protectionism should be used to some extent, and then you will have to conclude that, in conclusion, you can say that free trade seems a better option. However, it is not the only solution for the improvement of a developing country that is interested in interested in international trade. So international trade may damage the local young industry as well, like if the trade is totally free from barriers, like there's no tariff, quota and embargo. And developing countries are mainly agricultural based countries, so free trade might not benefit them a lot because they will export, like, cheaper agricultural goods that don't earn a lot of, like, foreign exchange, and they mainly rely on technology, tools and machinery that is from other countries. So developing country free trade will not benefit the developing country a lot because its balance of payment deficit may further increase. So this is how you can, like, conclude this question and get maximum possible marks. Okay, so I believe you understand how to answer these questions, and further in the next video I'll be explaining you section B and its relevant questions that were tested in June 2024 exam series. So see you with the next video soon, inshallah. Allah Hafiz. And further, if you want to join the WhatsApp group, that WhatsApp link of WhatsApp group is showing in the description. It is given in the description. Go there and just click that to join it. And this like, WhatsApp group is, like, totally safe. No one can see you or your, like, contact number, your name, anything. So it's totally safe, and if you join it, you can like, safely involve in discussions, and you can, like, raise your issues, and I'll also keep posting important stuff there in that group so that you can stay connected with me. And yeah, so this is it for today's lesson, and I'll explain section B tomorrow, and I'll also, like, start some MCQs, further MCQs also. You know that there is a playlist, AS Economics paper 1 playlist, that contains huge amount of MCQs that have been already explained and discussed. So go there and watch it carefully, listen to the logic and grab the concept in true sense, so that you can perform well in MCQs exam as well. And I'll also post the recent most exam paper of paper 1 as well as paper 3 of A level and AS Economics, also paper 1 of O levels and IGCSE as well. So stay connected, stay tuned. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.